This is part 2 of my today's video. I'm going to read first paragraph on page number 16. As we sat by the fire after tea, I told them about Salem House and particularly about Steerforth. He is very handsome, said I, and such a generous, fine, noble young man that I cannot praise him enough. I was talking eagerly about Steerforth when I saw Emily's face. She was listening with full attention, her blue eyes shining like jewels, and her cheeks red. I stopped, surprised, and they all laughed and looked at her. Emily is like me, said Peggotty, and would like to see young Mr. Steerforth. Emily was ashamed and hid her face, looking up a little later and seeing that we were still all looking at her. She ran away. She did not come back until till it was nearly time to go to bed. The time passed quickly, and soon I had to return to my unfriendly home, but this time without Peggotty. Second paragraph of page number 16, responsible for my own life. After breakfast one morning, I was going out of the room when Mr. Murdstone told me to stay. A friend of his, Mr. Quinion, was staying with us. He was standing with his hands in his pockets, looking out of the window. David, said Mr. Murdstone, young people should not sit at home idle all the time. I am not rich and education is expensive. I cannot keep you at school any longer. You will have to learn to be responsible for your own life, and you should begin as soon as possible. It seemed to me that I had already begun in my rather helpless way. You have heard me mention the business of Murdstone and Grinby in the wine trade. Mr. Quinion here manages that business. There are a number of boys. Now I'm going to explain page number 16. In first paragraph, David was telling them about Steerforth. He was presenting him like a hero, and everyone was impressed by Steerforth, especially Emily. All they wanted to see Steerforth. The time passed quickly, and David came back to home, but he was feeling very lonely, as there was nobody to love him, to take care of him like his mother and Peggotty. One morning, Mr. Murdstone told David that he couldn't bear David's education expenses and wanted David to earn for himself. He decided to send him to do a job in his friend Mr. Quinion's wine business. Difficult words of page number 15 are number 1 funeral, number 2 dismiss, number 3 troubled, number 4 gear, and number 5 cottage. Difficult words on page number 16 are number 1 particularly, number 2 handsome, number 3 generous, number 4 ashamed, number 5 expensive, number 6 responsible, and number 7 manages. Your homework from today's video is to read page number 15 and 16. I will see you in my next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz.